there was one directive asking the government around the SDGs and the relationship to the CRPD.
Mind freedom, you might have heard of the Millennium Development Goals, and around 2016, realizing that Millennium Development Goals were only economic in nature. Several global agencies at the UN level brought in the Sustainable Development Goals. It is by now a very evolved discourse with the goals and targets. There are 17 goals and many targets. You can Google for it, you will find it everywhere. And while governments find it difficult to even ratify, many governments have placed reservations, for example, on legal capacity, Article 12. Some governments have not even ratified the Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, whereas SDGs is the softer tone of bringing those rights at the grassroots level. So the SDGs, many governments have committed to it. They put their monies on it. It does require for regulatory and legal changes, but it is not a treatise. It's not a convention. It gives very practical programmatic elements for governments to bring different kinds of services and programs to diverse populations as well as the planet. So yeah. For us in the disability movement, we see the CRPD as giving principle-based guidance and the SDGs as giving practice-based guidance.
Thank you, Marina, Bakargi, Aranza, and Victor for your presentations.
We do have one last question, if people would allow us to ask this last question, and then we'll wrap up the session. This is going to, Bharvi is going to respond to it. It's an anonymous attendee asking about Article 12. And could you speak more to the shared decision-making alternatives and how this would work for folks in situations of poverty or housing instability, where they may not have relatives to share decision-making capacity?
Thank you so much, Susan. I think in different country contexts, the situation would be different and the solutions would be different. Sometimes for legal problems, we look at legal solutions. Sometimes the solutions may lie in communities. That has been our experience in the Global South. We do have legal incapacity laws, for example, for people to enter into guardianship arrangements. But if you look at the number of guardianship arrangements in, say, in a country like Indonesia, over the last 5 years, there have just been about 49 guardianship arrangements, formal guardianship arrangements. The number of informal ways in which people's decision-making powers are taken away is much wider. Their community support systems can really help by negotiating with the families, setting up arbitration, dialogue methods. So in the programs that I'm associated with, we do a lot of negotiation with families and communities on restoring back.
You're on mute there, Makarvi.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so we do a lot of strategies with deep engagement with the community level, the family level, and the neighborhood level in order to restore, even for people who are homeless, they don't have many resources and all of that. Yeah, I'm sure that in Netherlands or in the US, it will be very different because the laws are much more intractable than we have them in the Global South. So I don't know if such community solutions, but supported decision making means that there is a decision maker and there is a support system around them. We call it circle of care, and it's a principle that we believe that all over the world there are such support systems. I'm sure, Susan, you have some in Canada. You could share some of your experience.
Circle of support too.
Yeah, you call it circle of support. Yeah, right.
Thank you, Bharvi. So in closing, I just want to thank all of our panelists for their incredible insight and sharing into their works. In naming barriers for persons with psychosocial disabilities to be rights holders and really highlighting some like legal solutions and some key community-based innovations. So thank you so much for that. And I just was kind of reflecting, and I just kind of thought, kind of a core theme is really working together. We can realize one of the primary goals of I keep going back to the Sydney Declaration in 2013, which included a statement from a number of countries, colonized countries, that they were committing to the elimination of the use of seclusion or restraint in all areas of mental health in their countries, and the realization of an inclusive, equitable, and accessible society that is sustainable for all. So I just thank you all for joining us, and it's been great to host our first virtual COSP event. And I hope that we will share the resources from this event and make them available. So I hope you all have a good day wherever you're located in the world. Bye for now.